Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geekonomics. It's Marc and Bryon. We are back on the Zoom. Our crew is under the weather this week, so we're not in the studio. So we're back on the Zoom. Hope Josh feels better soon. Allergies suck. They really, really suck. I had it last week. He's got it this week. Ugh. It's that time of year. But anyways, Bryon, something's coming up this weekend that we all should be looking forward to.
Yes, I know this is kind of last minute, but I swear to you, it will be a fantastic time. Get you out of the house.
Yes.
I know the weather is supposed to be kind of cool and breezy, not that beautiful 90-degree weather we had a couple weekends ago, but get you out of the house, get you doing something. It's $2 to get in. It is Cliff's Con. It's a comic book and toy collectible show this Sunday, April 30th at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is in Plainville, VFW.
Yes.
That's 7 Northwest Drive, Plainville, Connecticut, 06062.
Yeah. Early bird starts at $9.
Yes.
$1 extra.
Yeah.
So
it's $2 admissions. Under $12. Under 12 is free, like normal. Comics, toys, collectibles, Pokemon, Funko. There's a raffle every hour. And it is dubbed the best little show in Connecticut.
Yeah, you know and we do promote the show every week on the end of the show, so you always see the flyer there. So but yeah, this weekend I know Matt Ryan's going to be there as well. So
nice.
Come on down, check it out. It's always a good time. There's always a lot of good stuff that you won't usually find at other shows, usually appears at this show.
Yeah,
just those weird things.
It's a smaller show, but it's a great show. You know,
and if you're an artist, right down the road from there is Blix, which is a great art store. So
really?
Hit Cliff's Con, drive up the road to Blix, load up on your art supplies, and you're good to go.
Cool. I love it. And you know, for $2, you get out of the house, you can go peruse, see some cool local artists, maybe find something from your childhood. Who knows?
Yeah.
Meet some great people.
Yeah. A lot of good vendors, a lot of good comics and stuff. I know Scott will be there. All the usual suspects will be there. So
yeah.
Come down and check it out.
We'll have more shows next week, which we'll be talking about, but we want to really get people to go to this one. So
yeah, because this is this weekend. So that's what we're talking about.
So Plainville, VFW this Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Check it out. It's $2 to get in. If you're 12 and younger, it's free. Bring your kids. Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah, I might even be there. So who knows?
Nice.
Hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, cool. And my next show we'll talk about next week.
Yes.
I got added to a new show, which we won't speak of until next week.
Yes.
And I basically will have 3 shows kind of in a row. So that's
here.
It's gonna be nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of good. I got my hands on a lot of good stuff. Did I like this is gonna on Easter weekend? Did I tell this story about my parents? So Easter weekend, my parents are talking about cleaning out their basement. And I'm like, well, I should go down there and see if I have anything before you do that. I go down there and there's a big puddle below the steps.
Oh boy.
Now this is where it gets interesting. I walk up the steps and I go, Dad, please come here. And my mom was like, oh no. And the reason I was like, Dad, please come here, it was years ago. I went to go visit. I went down there, big puddle, same thing. And I went upstairs and I said, do you guys know your pipes are leaking everywhere? And my dad proceeded to tell me how he did. And my mom got pissed because she didn't. And my dad, for some reason, thought a plumber was going to cost a fortune. And that like he did some weird, crazy patchwork and it was ridiculous. And I go, Dad, just call the plumber. You'll have it fixed.
Yeah.
But they got in a big fight. So I didn't want to
didn't want to start another thing.
So I go, Dad, come here. And he goes, what the heck? And the pipe above the furnace
Yeah.
had a tiny little hole. It was squirting water right into the floorboards,
Oh, boy.
raining all over their furnace.
Yeah.
So this is Easter Sunday. He's freaking out. He's trying to
Yeah.
call. Nobody can come down.
Yeah.
And as he's doing that, and I'm trying to help him, my brother's helping him. I go off to the other side of the basement,
Mm.
and I start like, I go, holy crap! I have my stack of Mad magazine and Cracked magazine that I used to read from about 92 up until 98.
Yeah.
Stacks, all in fairly good condition still, and a box of my old comics that I used to read. So I'm, as they're panicking about water,
Look at the stuff out of here.
yeah. My mom's like, "Do you need help?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to save my stuff." So I'm grabbing all my stuff. I let them two figure it out. It was so crowded over there.
Yeah. Couldn't have done anything anyways.
Yeah, what am I going to do? I just gave them advice about going to Home Depot and buying that grippy tape to kind of seal it until turn off the water until someone comes down. But since Easter, I've been going through all my Mad magazines, cleaning them, taking all the dust off the tops, and bagging and boarding them. And man, they're so cool. Going back, it's like I feel like a kid again. And I found all my old comics, and I'm wondering, like, I don't really want to hold on to them. Maybe I'll try to sell them at a show. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're the old ones. People might be interested in those, and I don't know, something like $2 a piece or something. I'm not going to even bag and board them because maybe they'll just sell them for $1. They've been out in my musty parents' basement forever.
Yeah.
So
That's where they usually end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Archie, a lot of old Archie, a lot of that kind of stuff. Archie and
Kids comics.
Yeah. Casper. All that stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Been going through all that, still dubbing all my tapes, watching an old stuff that you and me did before ETV.
Yeah.
Which was a riot. And man, I have to say, Jane, whatchamacallit, Echo Jane's was, you know what? I think they won that Battle of the Bands.
I think they did. If I remember correctly.
Honestly, they were fantastic.
They were really good. I remember them being really good.
Q now has an unfortunate name, a stigma attached to that letter.
Yes.
But they were decent. I haven't got to side project yet. I gotta dub that
experience. Q.
Yeah. But I think I like Q when we were playing their single on the radio. I think their produced stuff sounded really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, just been going down memory lane of old VHSs and my old magazines. I feel like a teenager,
Yeah, you get down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. But that's basically what I've been up to too. I mean, nothing really else. We're gonna talk about Mando, the season finale of Mando. Marcus, how was your week since we last spoke?
There wasn't anything really crazy going on. I've been fairly quiet, actually, which is kind of surprising and nice. Had a pretty bad head cold late last week through the weekend, so I didn't really do much besides sit around hacking and coughing and sneezing and nose running and all that fun stuff. Now Claire has it, so that's how marriage works. Once one of you gets sick, the other one gets sick. So,
well, it sounds like you had more than allergies if she's got it.
Yeah. So I knew it was a head cold. So, but recovering from that, getting over that, and then just work stuff. Nothing really crazy going on.
Yeah,
it's usual stuff. Not really watching much of anything. There's really not much on per se.
Well, how you watched Ted Lasso? I haven't heard you talk about it.
Yeah, we're watching Ted Lasso. That's been good.
Yeah.
Just watching it weekly, so not really so it's a little different than what I'd usually do. I usually wait and watch them all at once. But I did watch a show, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. Blasted through it. Oh, Shrinking.
Oh yeah, how was it?
On Apple Plus.
I heard it's good.
Amazing. Harrison
Yeah.
Ford and Jason Segel. Great
It's over.
The first season is. Yeah, the
Yeah.
second season I think is coming later this year, next year, one of the two. But yeah, so
Nice. It's on my list. I know
yeah.
Allison and myself are both interested in seeing that.
Yeah.
Like we are saving all these shows, like the final season of Succession's on, which we're super hyped to watch. And
The show I'm
Barry.
kind of thinking of getting into. I'm thinking of tackling that next. That's my next
Succession's
show.
amazing.
Since it's all over and there's all of them are out, so I can, and before they switch everything on HBO Max to whatever it's going to be, Max or whatever it's going to be now. So
Well, they're just going to call it Max,
yeah,
which is dumb. They should just keep it HBO Max. I don't understand.
I don't know.
I mean, they're just going to be adding more content. All the Discovery Plus stuff will be going on there.
Yeah,
I think
so Discovery Plus will go away, which Claire will be thrilled with because we don't have to pay for one thing as opposed to two.
Right.
So
I mean, it's a stupid name because I kind of feel like just saying HBO Max, everybody is so used to that.
Who knows?
Other than that, it's
like
going to be the same.
Company sometimes.
Yeah, it's going to be the same.
Yeah. The new didn't the new Flash trailer come out today?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't watched it, nor I kind of feel like I don't want to see another trailer. I'm going to see it. I'm so sick of seeing.
It'll make you want to see it again.
I know. I'm so sick of seeing trailers for movies I'm gonna see because I just feel like it's giving me more stuff. I'd rather be surprised in the theater and see it then.
Yeah.
I did see Evil Dead Rise, which was wow. It was awesome. It was awesome. I really liked it. It did not hold back, just like the last Evil Dead movie.
Yeah.
It is gory. It is scary. It's a lot of fun. It's probably one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I love it. So come to find out, this deals with a second book. So there's 3 books. So the 2013 one had the original book. This had a brand new book, and there's a third book. So Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell said that they would like to see this go on, and do some different things, and they would like to make these movies a little bit more frequently and not wait 10 years.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get another movie with the third book. That deals with the third book, but it was good, man. And the woman who plays the mom, who becomes a Deadite, which you've seen in the trailer, was fantastic. And it was kind of interesting because this is the first Evil Dead movie where the Deadite is kind of like the star of the movie and not the protagonist. The protagonist is good, but she is the star, in my opinion. And I think that was an interesting reversal. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. It was a great movie. Highly recommend it for horror buffs. And it was number 2 at the box office. Obviously, Mario is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I really want to see Mario still, but it kind of will wait for a home release because I feel weird.
I don't think it'd be anything we need to see in the theater.
Yeah. But yeah, Evil Dead was fantastic. And my boys played Coachella. Blink-182 played Coachella not once, but twice. They played the first weekend, which had a huge turnout. They played a side stage, and like a massive crowd moved over to see them. And then the second weekend, a big act, Sunday headlining act, canceled, and they actually made Blink-182 come back and do the headlining act, and it was fantastic. I am so pumped to see them live now. It was unbelievable. So, Mark, you're still going May 20th. I bought your ticket.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm excited.
So I am so stoked. Coachella, the first weekend of Coachella, that was their first time playing live together again. Wow. And Tom was on top of his game. They were a little bit nervous. Obviously, they had a shake off. They only Mark said they only rehearsed a couple times, and they showed back behind the scenes stuff with them getting ready, and it was very nice to see them all being brothers again. So
nice.
it was really awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Coachella because I get to watch it at home, and I always watch the Gorillas put a fantastic show on. So the great thing is I think Lollapalooza, which is in the middle of the summertime, is generally broadcast on Hulu. The last couple of years it has.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a lot. Once it airs, it's gone. You can't watch it on demand. It happens live.
Yeah.
And during COVID, that's when I got to see the Foo Fighters play a 3-hour set, and that was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And Mark, I texted you. You never responded. The Foo Fighters dropped a brand new track.
I did. I didn't respond back to you, but I did see it, and I did listen to a little bit of it.
How do you listen to a little bit of a 3-minute song?
Well, I listened to it. I just didn't really dive into it yet. I think I'm waiting for the album in June.
What's it gonna hurt? You just listen to the.
I don't know. I just kind of want to I don't know.
Well, anyway, the new album drops, I believe, the beginning of June.
June 2nd.
Yeah. The first single is Rescued. I put it on my walk. I listened to it with headphones on. It gave me the goose pimples.
I think that's why I didn't get into it. I started listening to it. I'm like, I can't do this right now.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. It starts off, it almost sounds like old Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
In the very beginning. And then just lyrically, musically, I think it's a fantastic song. It should be a great album. They put a statement out about how this album is basically them getting through last year.
Which is probably why I'm not as psyched to get into it.
I understand.
After last year, I don't know if I want to go through that again.
But yeah, I am stoked. It would be cool. It would be great to see them live again.
Yeah. I guess they're looking for a new. Well, I mean, not looking for. They have to find a new drummer. So
for touring,
yeah.
And I mean, they've had people. They've done their little tour, their little shows with different people playing drums.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll find someone, or they'll have like a good friend, a rotating drummer. Taylor's son was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Obviously he's a teenager, so they can't hire a teenager to do that kind of work, but I hope one day they could when he becomes a young man. But anyway, that's all I got, Marcus.
Oh, that's right. I got a phone cord dangling around my foot.
You got a phone call.
I hear that happens.
But
I did watch the Tetris movie on Apple TV Plus.
Oh yeah, how was that? I forgot it was out.
Okay. It's not fantastic. It's very TV movie-esque.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
The thing is, there is on TLC, Alice and me watched the Tetris Murders, which is based upon everything. It's this woman cop who's was part of the case, and they interview everybody involved that they could. And it was a 2-part documentary, freaking fantastic. Now, when I heard about the movie and I watched the trailer, I was like, "Oh, interesting. They're movifying what I already know." And then the reviews were just a lot of people saying how they changed some things around. Obviously, they do that with movies all the time.
I mean, you can't just make it. It's not like a documentary, so
yeah. So I don't know. I do want to watch it, but I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It kind of combines some information in the movie, like how things happened. So
yeah, they make it more movie-esque.
Exactly. Yeah. make it flow more. But
Um,
it was all right it was under 2 hours, so it's
yeah,
it's a good watch if you're looking for something to watch, kind of thing.
I keep forgetting that. I keep seeing the ad for it, and then
Yeah,
I don't think about it.
it's Apple Plus. It's that weird thing with Apple Plus. It's like you don't really think about Apple Plus when
No,
you're
I
going
don't.
through like options of things to watch.
Pretty much.
There's a plethora of things on there.
I'm sure, but
Yeah,
it's like I'm paying for it, and I don't
kind
know
of like
why.
iTunes back in the day. It's like you have it, but you randomly use it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm looking forward to on Apple Plus is season 2 of Severance.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but I do want to watch Shrinking.
yeah.
That's on our list.
Shrinking's good, and Foundation I heard is really good, which I want to get into. I know I remember talking about it way back when it was first talked about coming out. It's the book that Star Wars was loosely based off of.
Oh
Like George
yes,
Lucas inspiration for Star Wars.
yes.
So interested in checking that out.
Oh, this week we're gonna have plenty of news next week, Mark, because this week is the big convention in Vegas where all the big movie studios promote all their big stuff. I think it's like CinemaCon or something. Yeah,
Okay.
CinemaCon. And I know today at CinemaCon tonight,
Mm.
they are showing everybody the Flash movie.
Oh,
Um, and the so we will get a good indication of what people think about it, I'm sure, in the
yeah,
this weekend.
yeah.
Um, but they're showing a Flash movie to the people at CinemaCon this week.
Huh.
So next Monday, we should have a lot of news. A lot of news is gonna come out this week.
Yeah.
Sony has a press junket, Warner Brothers, Paramount, I think Disney. But yeah, it's like basically every day
Yeah. The
one
different
company has a big thing, and then they kind of what to expect the next coming weeks,
huh.
months, year, the year. So yeah, CinemaCon. So yeah, we should have a lot of news next week.
Yeah. It's
Um,
the April 24th through 27th. So it actually started yesterday.
yeah, sorry, yesterday. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah. A little bit
We're
of stuff that has come out already is Craven the Hunter will be Sony's first R-rated Marvel movie.
I did see something about that this morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Sony's big presentation was yesterday. I think
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is today.
Yeah. They dropped 14 minutes of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
They teased that the company would release 23 movies in 2023.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's a lot. Well, I mean,
Across all their different things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll put a pin on
Yeah.
that, and then we'll talk about CineCon next Monday. We'll give us some stuff to talk about, but that's good to know. I did hear about the some of that stuff this morning.
Mm.
So Marcus, shall we jump into Mando? I mean,
Yes, let's tackle it.
so Mando episode 8. Let's
Yes.
talk about episode 8 first. Then we'll review the season as a whole.
That makes sense.
This obviously, spoilers. I'm sure everybody who's watched Mando listens to us. I don't even not even worried
Yeah.
about it at this
Yeah.
point.
You almost had a week to watch it at this point. So if you haven't watched it yet, that's on you.
Yeah.
Don't be a Brian. Watch it when it airs.
Do you want to go first about your thoughts of episode 8? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll go. I was excited that they just did the thing. I was happy that it didn't get dragged out to another like cliffhangery type ending. I will admit I was surprised that there was no turncoat in the mix that we all kind of thought was going to happen. It was just everyone was on Team Mando, and they were all going for it. The flying fight scenes were amazing. It was basically it was like, here's a half hour of Star Wars, just throw it at you in the face, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Yeah, it was kind of it was good, but then like after like thinking about it a little bit, it's like, oh, the Praetorian Guard just got punked again. It's like, why are they such an important thing for the Empire, for that faction? Like, they hold them in such regard, but they get punked constantly. Like, they get punked by Mando in this one and Grogu, and then in the new sequel, they get punked by Ben Solo and Rey, like, pretty easily. So they seemed very not
threatening.
as threatening as you think they would be.
That's
Which
a
is weird, because
problem.
they're in the video game, they're pretty tough. I remember them being
Yeah.
a thing in one of the video games, and they were pretty tough. But it just seems like in the shows they get pretty well murked.
Well, Moff Gideon, this is now his third time, or second or third time, just being taken down. And I know we didn't see his body, but
I mean, a fire flame, and he's covered in Beskar, but still, that's kind of.
I'm really hoping we don't see Moff Gideon ever again.
No, I mean, if anything, he's going to be like melted into the suit at this point.
Yeah, I really hope they don't decide to bring him back, because it's just like, come on,
yeah.
I'm over it. We have to move on to Thrawn. Come on.
Yeah, I did like the thing where they kind of. Excuse me. See, I'm telling you, that thing's still hanging around. How they basically could make this the series finale of Mando, of the story. Like, the ending ended in a way where that could be the final thing we see of this story of Mando, basically.
Well, it kind of is, because we know there's a season 4. They've already announced it. So I think this ends this whole chapter, this whole story. And then now season 4 could be him getting wrapped into whatever's going to lead to the movie, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting to find out how that all works out.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was definitely one of the best episodes of the year. I mean, there is a lot of little tiny things still dangling, which are basically just little Easter eggs for Ahsoka, which comes out like in like 2 months, I think.
August.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Now Brian's gonna tell you how much he didn't like it.
No. I liked it a lot. I thought these last 2 episodes were the best 2 episodes of the entire season.
Yeah.
I really I liked how they it kind of felt like they just cut this one long episode in the middle, because we picked up where we left off. I really liked it, Mark. I don't want to repeat a lot of stuff you said, so I'm not, but I echo a lot of stuff you said. My biggest complaint is I kind of felt some stuff was rushed. This is what the problem was, and we'll get into it when we talk about the season. I just felt like they focus on not the things people wanted, just weird things, and then the meat of the story, they were like, well, we're just gonna go through this. But it was very enjoyable. I thought the fight scenes were great. I think the CG, I think some of that stuff was the best on television. And I thought, it was a great episode. It was a great ending. Moff Gideon better be dead. We didn't see his body, which makes me hesitant to think he is, but I hope he is.
I mean, it's kind of like, at this point, he's been incinerated, basically, is what they were insinuating.
I know. And then all his clones, he was cloning himself.
Well, they killed all of them.
I know. Well, we don't know. See, this is the thing with Star Wars. We don't know. We don't know, because anything can happen. So
I mean, what if his clone is what they spin into being Grand Admiral Thrawn or Grand Admiral Snoke,
Well,
Supreme Leader Snoke, whatever it was called.
we
I can't
know
remember
that
what it's called.
Hux's dad was
Yes.
was dealing with the Project Necromancer,
Yes, that
which
was
that could
surviving
have
Palpatine.
been that.
Yeah.
So the whole Snoke thing, I don't know. I think my least favorite thing about Star Wars is the whole cloning thing. I'm over the cloning thing. I don't care about the cloning
Yeah,
thing.
they've really, I don't know why, but for some reason they've really jumped into the cloning thing.
I know. We're done with the Clone Wars. I don't care about clones anymore. Let's move on. But yeah, now we know. Okay, we did get one thing. We found out that Moff Gideon, the reason he wanted Grogu's blood,
Yes, at the
was
beginning of season 1.
the Metachlorians, which they never mentioned, but we all know it's that.
He just wants the Force.
He
to
wanted
inject
the Force
into
in the
himself.
clones.
Yeah.
And then he had a suit that basically made him robotic, so he can crush the dark. Now the Darksaber is now.
He wasn't like robotic. He just had like a powerful suit, like a Darth Vader type suit.
Yeah, that allowed him to crush Bo-Katan's hand as she was holding the Darksaber.
Yeah.
The Darksaber is gone.
I mean, they could just go to any saber rebuilder and get that rebuilt. It's not like it's destroyed, it's just broken.
Yeah, you know what though? For me, I got the point of the show. Thinking about it, wasn't that the Darksaber was the one that was going to allow that person to rule Mandalore. I think that Bo-Katan realized she can lead without it, because people respect her and that she's done good. So I don't feel like the Darksaber is anything anymore. It could be. You're right. They could bring it back. I mean, it's weird how the Darksaber became this plot point that seemed very important, and then this season it was just like, nobody cares.
Well, it came from the Clone Wars and other origins of it, so it was kind of like it wasn't really a big plot point in that, but it, on the Mandalorian side, like Moff Gideon said, they like their trinkets and their lore and mythology and all that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the point of it, was that whoever wielded the Darksaber was the ruler of Mandalore.
Right. And I think the ending showed you didn't need that.
Yeah.
You didn't need it. Bo-Katan didn't need it. And I think that makes it more interesting.
It was more of just like a honorary title thing. Like you have to have it to, it's like a crown, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the three of them go after Moff Gideon, and he had a hard time keeping up with three of them. I thought the fight scenes were great. It was a lot of fun. I think the ending was very nice and very sweet. It was actually kind of nice to see Mando and Grogu at a good spot. And I like that last image they left us with.
Well, like how they kind of set up too that they could make season 4 more of him being like searching out Empire remnants.
He's taking jobs
going to the base and talking.
Outer Rim.
Yeah. So that'd be like his kind of thing now, as opposed to like, you could like turn the story into that, as opposed to like him going back to being a bounty hunter kind of thing.
Well, at the end, he said he was going to take jobs. On a case by case basis. Yeah. So I think that's, and he can make money and live. He's got his plot of land.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like if they're leading to this Filoni movie that's going to wrap this all up, and then Thrawn becomes a thing with Ahsoka, that Mando can be sucked into that story later down the road.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah. So yeah, Mark, I really did like this episode a lot. It really felt like old school Mandalorian. It felt like season 1, season 2 Mandalorian to me, these last 2 episodes. And I did like it a lot. I think for me, this was the first 9. For me, I wasn't sure if I gave last week an 8. I think give it.
You did. You gave it an 8 last week.
But I think this was a 9 for me.
Yeah,
This was definitely a 9. What do you say out of
I'll agree with that. I'll give it a 9 as well. It wasn't
yeah.
like, I mean, to be a 10, you have to basically Luke Skywalker has to show up again or something like that. So can't make a 10 just for that reason. So it's a 9.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I give it a 9 only because I felt like some stuff was rushed through, and I kind of wish we got a little bit more of the, like, when the Mandos land in that little, like, underneath the
Yeah,
planet and they see
yeah,
all the growth. Just seems like a weird place to put that. Like, I was
yeah,
just like, we're in a battle, things are going down, but you guys are just having this little, like, that should have happened prior to the battle. Maybe if we had focused more on the planet this season, that could have been. I just felt like it was a point in the story, just felt weird to be
yeah.
there. Um, but
But then again, that's like a thing to like. I think that's another thing. It's a thing that Star Wars is doing now. It's very similar to what Marvel did early on too. Is they show you things, and it's like this isn't for now, but take note of this because it's going to be come up again down the road, kind of thing.
well, I understand that. I just felt like it was a weird place to put it.
Yeah.
But
So like, there's a
anyway,
lot of that with these shows now. There's a lot of like long story arc stuff as opposed to just like
let's
for explanation of things.
let's give our I'm gonna write down. Well, I've been taking note of everything
Yeah,
of
I
this
know.
here. Um, so we both give the final episode a 9.
Yes.
What's today's date, Mark?
Today is the 25th.
Oh my god.
I know.
Yeah, even in my notes, uh, yeah, I said okay. So as a season, obviously we're rating it. You always say this
Yes.
in the Star Wars TV show, the Mando,
Yes.
this
Mando
universe,
universe rating, not
right?
against anything else.
Um, I'll let you go first, Marcus. This season, what are your final thoughts of Mando season 3, and what would be your rating?
Season as a whole, I think there was some things, like I just said before, that were brought up that I think are setups for down the road, not so much to do with this story. Like we talked about Hux's dad and the killing of the or the brain wiping of the clone doctor, the spy on Coruscant that was working for Moff Gideon. There's like stuff that I think is setting up towards what's coming up. So I give it a little bit of slack on some things, not everything, but stuff like that. I think I have to wait and see how it all turns out. But on the Mando side of things, we've discussed there's some things where, again, I think if you had seen previous stories like Clone Wars and Rebels, you have a different opinion of this season than if you come into it without that information. Because it's still like it's a continuation of that story that was going on during those. So all total, I think I would probably give this season an 8. Because it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
Okay,
So it's B.
that's fair.
Passing B.
For me, it's probably my least favorite season altogether. I mean, season 1, 2. This is kind of on par with Book of Boba Fett in a weird way, because Book of Boba Fett, there's elements I didn't really care for, but like when certain elements hit, I think it hit well.
Yeah.
And I think the season 3 was like, when it worked well. But when it faltered or just seemed off, it just didn't jive with me.
Yeah.
And I I went back, and I know I'm highly critical of Jon Favreau writing majority. Well, he did write majority of episodes season 1 and 2. So I
Yeah.
don't know what happened, but I hope that Jon Favreau and company, when they do season 4, they take the criticism, the real
Yeah.
criticism, and not just trolling, but people who are fans of the show and want it to be better
Yeah.
into consideration, because I think it's a great show still. I still am looking forward to Ahsoka. I'm still going to look forward to season 4. I still like these characters. And by the end of the season, I did like Bo-Katan, but I liked it when they gave me a reason to like her. And by the end, I did. But it felt like this season the wheels were turning, but we weren't going in. And
No, that makes sense.
I kind of feel like episode 1, 2, and 3, and these last 2 were the strongest.
Yeah.
I think the middle episodes just seemed like,
Which seems to be an issue with these shows recently.
I don't know, but they fell flat. But
middle episodes seem to drag for some reason.
Like, okay, the Jack Black Lizzo episode, I didn't care. That Law and Order episode didn't work for me, but the last 5 minutes was way more interesting, and I wish that was the episode. I wish that whole half hour was Bo-Katan trying to figure out a way to get these guys on her side.
Yeah,
they wasted our time.
Or if they get rid of the whole pre stuff and just had her go like once or twice to try to get them on her side, and the first time she loses and doesn't get them on her side, so she decides to go back again. So I think there was just, I don't know.
I mean, like, it would have been great to see her prove to them. It was just like they had a fight and she's like, I got it. I got the dark sword, and I mean, it's great. I like that part of the episode, but I wish it was the meat of the episode.
No, I understand what you're saying.
So for me, every episode had a part I liked. Was I entertained for the more? Yeah, I was entertained the whole time. It wasn't the worst television I watched. It was so enjoyable.
Exactly.
So for me, I give it, for the whole season, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's above average. I mean, well, above average would be a 6. So this is it was a 7. It's I could give it an 8 or a 9 if every episode was like.
No, I see. I understand. It's like one of those, like, here's a 7. See me after class to discuss your paper.
Yeah, I kind of
be like, if you had just done a couple more things, you could have gotten a better grade.
For me, I wanted more of what I saw in episodes 1, 2, and 3, and these last 2 episodes. That's what I loved, and I like the Monster of the Week, but I think the Monster of the Week this season was a little weak. It just didn't.
For bad guy of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. And my biggest complaint is, why did we wait so long for Moff Gideon to even show up and become the big bad? He should have been.
If they'd hinted at it, I mean, I think they're like trying. I think they, I don't want to say assumed the audience would pick up on things as much as they thought we would have. I think if they had hinted at Moff Gideon that the pirates were working for Moff Gideon, and that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We got the scene with the spy and Moff Gideon talking about taking care of the clone doctor, and not just left it as a thing where she's working for somebody in the background.
That has it would have been great.
It was very little. Like, she was kind of a sort of a character in last season,
right? But
it was like I didn't remember who she was. I think she was an Empire person and that she was on Moff Gideon's ship, but I didn't associate. I mean, I kind of figured it out during the first, she's connected to Moff Gideon. That's why she's still around.
Yeah.
But I think if there was more of that, and if they'd even had like a tinge more of like the Thrawn, like Easter egg stuff, like little tidbits, like sprinkles of Thrawn, like seasoning through the season. Like Moff Gideon's doing all this stuff, but this overall arcing threat is on its way. Like Thrawn is coming, kind of thing. Like,
but we got none of that.
Like, if that spy that was working for Moff Gideon was also like working for the group that's working for Thrawn, kind of. It's like they hinted at a little bit with that one commander who was the commander of Thrawn's ship.
Yeah.
All that. So there was like a little bit of that, but it seems like there was like, I don't know. it seems like the overarching bads weren't as bad as we thought they would be. And Moff Gideon just never seemed like a threat that I really was worried about.
I agree. I kind of feel like Moff Gideon. I'm over him. I hope we just move on to Thrawn.
Yeah, he's like the bad guy that just won't go away. Kind of. It's like, okay,
it's getting old.
Kind of Batman-esque from back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
Like the Penguin keeps popping up. It's like, okay, we get it. You're a bad guy.
Yeah, we can't have like every
Throw you
scene.
back in Arkham Asylum. You'll be out in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm hoping Moff Gideon's just done. We're done with him. We can move on. And if we're working towards this bigger movie with Ahsoka and then a season 4 of Mando, and then we don't know anything beyond that, but the announcement that they're working on this movie.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't know. Is Ahsoka and Mando season 4, and then we're going to the movie, or will there be more? We don't know, but at least we're working towards something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still enjoy it. I still had fun watching it week to week, even though sometimes it wasn't my favorite, but I still had fun, and it was still better than most things. So yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes good shows have kind of a bad season. It happens. Doesn't mean it's a bad show overall. It just means it can be better.
It wasn't as bad as Game of Thrones is last season, so.
Yeah, well, nothing will ever be as bad as that.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see, like, I know if I mentioned a couple times, you're like, oh no, it nothing to do with anything. But it'd be interesting to see what the original plans were before the whole Cara Dune situation happened, and see like if there was like what the directions were going to be, and then like we saw how things got changed, but like what was the plan going into the season with that character, and how much of a change had to be made, and did that affect any of the season, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
it's not a lot, but I'm assuming there's a little bit of things that were changed around that affected the overall story.
I thought Cara Dune was going to be part of that other show, right?
Well, she, like, they talked about her. She was going to be she was been on Navarro with Grief, and I think she would have teamed up with Mando at the beginning of the season with Bo-Katan, and she would have been involved in that storyline and that story arc. So there'd been more going on there than just her and Mando, Bo-Katan and Mando.
Right.
So there might have been more like fleshing out of that story a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to change it, but
you
know, they still had to do what they had to do. I mean, it's been a couple years since that all went down.
I know, but if you think, like, they probably had the story written out before, like they talked about during season 1 that they had the story already basically mapped out.
Right.
Then when you have to, like, basically you have your plan set in place, and then something like that happens and you have to revert everything to a different thing.
Yeah.
That's a big wrench to throw into the works, kind of thing.
I know. And
it's like a main character that you have to like just pull out of your story.
Yeah. I mean, look at what Disney, I mean, everyone's still trying to figure out what is going to happen with Jonathan Majors. I mean, that's another big thing. I mean, an update on that story is, I mean, he was dropped by his PR, his management, and he was dropped from any upcoming movie plans he had.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good.
No.
I'm not
saying
the
one I want to say good thing is Loki's already shot and done in the can, basically.
Yeah.
So he'll be in that.
But we don't know what going forward.
Character that he's playing, it wouldn't be difficult to recast him.
Yeah, because he hasn't filmed anything else. So
yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like he could easily. I mean, they did it with Terrence Howard, and no one seemed to complain that much. You know.
Yeah.
So it's not something new that's ever happened. It's not the first time.
Right.
An actor's been recast in between movies. So
and like I said before, we don't know if he's innocent. We don't know if he's guilty. Nobody knows if he's innocent or guilty.
No.
Other than the people in that room.
Yeah.
And so until they I'm just saying, on an entertainment standpoint,
Yeah.
the fact that these dominoes have fallen,
Yeah.
it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll know more May 8th.
Yeah.
And Disney's been very quiet on this, and I understand why, because they're trying to. We got Guardians 3 coming out. They
There's also been
probably
no like charges filed or anything, so it's like you can't like.
no there is charges. That's why he's
You know
going
what I
to
mean? But
court.
like nothing. He hasn't been like
May
no court
8th.
or anything. Yeah. So that's like the
May
thing where
8th.
they can't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The charges are there. They have
Yeah.
not been dropped. He has a court date May 8th.
I think they also, on Disney's side of things, I think they kind of regret the decision they made with Johnny Depp and not jumping the gun, but like instantly dropping him from everything. And then finding out how everything turned out there and the kind of rough PR they had to go through from that. But
Yeah, I'm sure they want to see how it shakes out. Yeah.
Letting see how things fall, kind of,
Right.
you know.
I agree. I mean, I think that it's worth following the evidence,
Yeah,
good or bad,
of course.
and making a decision based on facts.
Yeah.
Period. I agree with.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll talk about it more as we actually have information.
As
We
things
don't
come out. Yeah.
It's all speculation right now, and I don't like
No,
really
exactly.
talking about
Yeah.
speculation because none of us really know.
No, exactly.
So, I think that's it, Mark. I know next Monday we'll have tons of news from Cinecon this week.
Yes.
You know what? I probably will watch the Flash trailer. We should watch it. We'll talk about it next week when the new one comes out. I'll watch it. We could talk about it.
There's actually a new Guardians trailer, I think, too.
I'm not watching anything Guardians because I'm going in, man. I've seen that one trailer and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to know more.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped. The initial responses have been very, very positive.
I'm assuming it's going to be amazing.
I'm hoping. Honestly, this could be the last MCU movie I would ever watch in my life, and I would be happy. Of course, that's not going to happen. But
yes,
I am so. I know this is the ending for a lot of these characters. They're some of my favorite characters in the MCU. Yeah. And I am excited to see them one last time. It's going to be heartbreaking. So we're actually going, I think, next week, Mark. It's next Thursday. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We are literally 1 week and 2 days away.
Yes. On my anniversary.
On your wedding anniversary.
I've been given permission to go.
Yes. Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. We'll talk about that next week too.
Yeah. So
what we think's gonna happen. Who's gonna make it? Who's not?
Yeah, we can make some predictions if you like.
Predictions.
Oh.
So stay tuned for all that and more next week here on the podcast. And as always, be safe, be well, be kind.
Rewind those VHS tapes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.